Before we get started tonight, ladies and gentlemen, for another episode on Fast Break here on IE Sports Radio, I want to talk to y'all about the last 8 years of IE Sports Radio. For the last 8 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes to building and tailoring shows dedicated to all major sports leagues around the country. All the while, we've been continuing to be by the fans, for the fans, with your help, ready to take the next step. We are going, when you go to the website, our website, iesportsradio.com, you will see our Patreon link with 5 different tiers. The first one starting at $5 a month. This donation gives you shout out to all 32 of our shows. Higher tiers include IE Sports Radio merchandise, access to our podcasting university, and even a chance to be featured on a segment of our flagship show, The Defining Moment. Thank you all very much for continuing to make IE Sports Radio direct free for all that is sports. I do want to shout out to our 4 Patreon members: Barrier Rays, Marcus Lewis Great, Key to the Gate, and Anonymous. Thank you for making our 8th anniversary special. Here's to many years to come. Now to the show. We return tonight previewing the Central Division for the NBA upcoming season. Lots of questions in the division. Can the Bucks bounce back and make it back to the finals with Chris Middleton back healthy? Are the Chicago Bulls bound for a regress? Can the Cavs make some noise with the acquiration of Donovan Mitchell and the continued progress of young players like Darius Garland and Mobley? Can the Detroit Pistons take a step forward with Kate Cunningham going in year 2? And finally, what do the Pacers do with some of their veterans? Are they bound for a tank? We'll discuss that and much more here on Fast Break, live on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for RS Sports, and you're welcome to join us. And join us as you shout tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Lots to talk about, lots to get into here tonight in tonight's discussion. Lots of things to go over, especially in this division. D-Lock, how you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Another, great weekend with great games. Preseason is done for basketball, so the next games that we'll be see on Tuesday will be the ones that count. Not mistaken, we got the 76ers against the Celtics, and the Warriors, the NBA Final Champ Golden State Warriors hosting the Los Angeles Lakers Tuesday. So it's approaching very fast, and very excited for that, man. Big time.
Let's real quick before we get to our previews and subs and all that. Let's preview Tuesday's matchup between all 4 of these teams. Starting with the Celtics, 76ers. What are you looking for in that matchup? We know about the Ime Udoka situation and all that. We discussed that about a couple weeks ago. How do you think his absence is going to show on that game? Are the Celtics going to still be the same because they got the same core of guys and Tatum, Brown, and Smart? and Horford? Or do you think, the 76ers, with their kind of like new identity and new kind of mindset, will overcome that? What do you think about that game coming up on Tuesday?
Well, to be honest, I think that game is going to be there's a bunch of stars in it, so it's going to be very exciting. Not only head coach Celtics Imani Doka not being there, being a big valid piece, but also missing a Robert Williams as well. I think that's going to play a huge piece as well. So expect to see a lot from Al Horford. But I'm looking forward to seeing how Malcolm Brogdon fits in with this offense and this team. You're already loaded with your guards, Malcolm up with Marcus Smart, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Peyton Pritchard. Now you add in another piece. Now, if we can get a healthy Brogdon, I think we can see a lot, and that could be a big bonus for them. But I want to see how this transition for the Celtics. But also, I just want to see, on the other side, I want to see how Philly transitions with James Harden and Joel Embiid. We went and grabbed a defender, or a few defenders. We got Daniel House, and you also got a big piece in P.J. Tucker. I want to see the impact that he makes on this team. I want to see the defensive presence that he brings. Now, he's not a young P.J. Tucker. He's a little bit older, but we've seen him in the past playoff series lock down important defenders. We've seen him lock up Kevin Durant before, give him problems in a playoff series before, and other players. So, for me, I think that I want to see how this fits into what Philly is doing. This is a great matchup coming up. I think these two teams contest. These two teams would be contenders to get to the NBA Finals to represent the East. So, but I do expect Joel Embiid to start off with a great game. Get his MVP season started hot and early. But I do want to see also James Harden be more consistent this year. So I think that game is going to be one to watch. And also then we got it closing out with the Warriors and Lakers. But this first East matchup is going to be one that is going to raise a lot of eyebrows.
Really, for me in this game, I go to the Sixers side of things real quick. James Harden seems like he's in the best shape he's been in a while. And I think the last couple of years that he kind of really shot away from that. Where he was like, hanging out, with Lil Baby and, celebrity friends and whatnot. Eating good in Houston, again in Brooklyn, not really focused there. And then the tussle with, not the tussle, but like beef with Kyrie. So it's just good to see he's got his mindset back to kind of take things serious again. I'm interested to see how P.J. Tucker is going to impact this team. I think, he could help out that team tremendously, vocally, and another dimension that team. Because I think they really had no assertiveness or toughness with that group. You take away Ben Simmons, you insert a P.J. Tucker, you get some toughness there. And I think that, it's kind of needed for that team. And secondly, besides the big two, Tobias Harris, I think he's got to have a strong year for this team to go far. And he's got to shoot the ball consistently. As you know, I know, he can have a good, a 30-point game, shooting lights out. Then a couple games later, he's shooting 5 for 19 for 11 points. He can't do that a lot this year. He's got to be consistent throughout the year. And I understand having off game stuff like that, in an 82-game season, but he's got to be more consistent on that part. And one more thing, if I get to the Celtics side of things, I'm really seeing how Tyrese Maxey's going to look this year. He's a guy that's really, really grown into his own, and we're really to see how he plays this upcoming year, because they're going to need it. Looking at the other side of things, you know, I think the thing I'm going to look at for Celtics is like how they're going to react with Yukata gone. How they're going to be defensively. That's the main thing. Because I think that's Coach Yukata's specialty. How are they going to be defensively, you know, coming to the season with him not to be on the bench? That's one thing I'm looking for. Gallinari, who's going to, I think, is going to help that second unit. He's gone for the year. I'm kind of curious who's going to step up in that spot with him gone. Now, like you alluded to, we already seen Malcolm Brogdon is already, you know, on schedule, being hurt. And I told Celtics fans, like, hey, yeah, if he's healthy, cool. But shit, man. I mean, sorry for the cussing, but, I mean, crap, man. That's been few far between in his NBA career. So, I think the Celtics kind of weather the storm, do what they do, keep that mindset that he imprinted with them. I think they'll be okay. But if not, if they're not on clicking with him gone early on, then I think his impact is probably will be greatly more missed. And I know the Celtics are probably looking at this intern coach. Let's see what pull his name.
They're definitely going to need Bobby to stay healthy. I mean, I think he'll play a huge piece for them if he can be. I mean, especially getting him from the Pacers. I think he's due to have hopefully a healthy season.
And this Joe Mazzulla guy, if he does a great job with his team, I think Yukata might be showing the door. If he don't and stumbles, then we're kind of in an awkward place with Coach Yukata and the Celtics organization. But before we get talking about the Lakers and Golden State game, I do want to shout out to the chat. Shout out to the founder, Larry B. How you doing tonight, sir? Shout out to Terry Rodriguez. How you doing tonight? Kel Henderson. How you doing tonight, sir? I know that y'all Raiders weren't playing today, and the Chargers weren't playing either, so thank y'all for tuning in tonight. Adam Karnick. How you doing tonight, sir? We're about to get to some Bulls talk here in a little bit. To go to the Golden State Laker game, and also his ring ceremony night as well, D-Lock. Draymond didn't get suspended for his actions in practice, and that kind of factored in why, the ring ceremony, why he didn't get suspended. What do you look for in this game, especially for the Lakers side? What lineup do you expect to see with Russ being out day to day with the hamstring? What lineup do you expect to see for the Lakers on game one?
Well, for me, I expect to see Lonnie Walker starting in. Also, I believe Kendrick Nunn is going to start, and also Austin Reeves. We can start Austin Reeves at the 2, Kendrick Nunn at the 1, Lonnie Walker at the 3, LeBron at the 4, and AD at the 5. Now, you say Russ got hurt, injury. When he got hurt when they were actually trying out the, bring him in off the bench.
Yep.
Have him on that second unit. And we wanted to see what that would look like. And in fact, I kind of was excited for that because I wanted to see where you put him, in a sense, with the second unit, he's running that 5, running the court, which is cool. He loves to have that solo play, which is what they probably need that engine to continue. Now, him to get hurt, it was kind of weird for that to happen the first time that they tried. But he's not going to be there. We're going to see how long that is. But I do expect for Kendrick Nunn, who had a hell of an offseason and preseason, I think he's going to play a huge part. He's going to start at the one. I do see Beverly coming off and getting minutes early. I think we'll see a lineup with him, Kendrick Nunn, and Lonnie Walker with LeBron and AD. I think we see that early. I don't think that starts the game. I don't think it's a starting lineup, but I do see Beverly getting in pretty fast just because of the effect that he's going to have. But with that being said, people think that game is going to be a blowout. I don't think so. I think that this is going to be one of the hopefully moving forward, one of the times that we do see Anthony Davis fully healthy. I think he gets a great log in a lot of minutes this game. Bron, even during the preseason, looked like he was on fire. Like it looked like when he got in his minutes, he was very efficient with his shots, making hella free throws. He was good with having a good percentage of his shots. So for me, I think the Lakers are going to come out. Now the thing about I believe with Lakers moving forward, I think we still see them in high scoring games. The problem is when they play against the Warriors, I think we do see James Wiseman. I think he plays a valid piece. He's going to be very, very huge for them. So this roster is deep. I remember seeing a lineup. I believe they had Steph, Clay, Jordan Poole with Draymond and Wiseman. Like, damn, like they got three shooters that can shoot from them anywhere. Then they got Draymond who could pop it if they needed. Then they got somebody grabbing boards for them. So that lineup looks very, very vicious. Like it looks like they can do some damage to a lot of teams. So I expect to see that lineup at some point Tuesday. But I think this game is going to be pretty close. I think the Lakers are going to shock a lot of people as far as letting it be known that they're going to make a huge impact in the West. They didn't look too good, with their three-point shot past couple games, but I think they come with it this Tuesday night. Now, with that being said, the fact that Russ won't be there, I think if they do play well moving forward and Russ is not there, I think we move forward and we don't see Russ involved as much with this team because of some of the things we've already seen during the preseason. As far as Nate having a meeting on, they're getting together as a team. He's kind of like oscillating, things like that. So I expect, back to that game, I expect that to be a tight game. I think the Lakers look pretty impressive. I do have the Warriors winning, but I think the Lakers are putting a good fight.
I look to the Warriors side of things. I just think hopefully Draymond doesn't become an issue all year. I think, the Poole and Green situation, I think that didn't help a lot of things. And hopefully that's water on the bridge. They better hope it's water on the bridge for their sakes. That's just me. But as you and I know, and we've seen Draymond over the years talking, he kind of don't let things slide. And we will see how that affect things, for this team going down throughout the year. And Tuesday night will be a good indicator how things will go. But other than that, the young guys, I always harp on this about the Warriors. I'm real curious to see how Wiseman does in his first regular NBA season back after injury. And Steve Kerr kind of don't pull the leash so quickly on him. You got to let the man play. He's potentially your future, your franchise. Because Steph is like around our age and stuff like that. So that's like mid-30s. So, you got to start looking down the road here, and you got a whole host of guys that can do that for you. Along with Moody, Kuminga, and Jordan Poole. So that's why I look for the Warriors. On the Lakers side of things, I don't know who starts besides LeBron and AD. It's just like the way this roster looks is this look, ugh. You know what I'm saying? It's just look, damn. Y'all couldn't like done a better job at somewhat. You watch a few games here now. It's like, damn, y'all could have did a little bit of job here and there, and all that stuff. If I had to guess the starting lineup, shout out to Mike Patton chat. How you doing tonight, sir? If I had to do a starting lineup for them, it'd be like LeBron, AD. Jesus. Patrick Beverly. Austin Reeves. And then if I had to throw one person out there, maybe Kendrick Nunn. But geez, your starting guards ain't got no shooting out there. Maybe Lonnie Walker, maybe Troy Brown. It's just like, ugh. You just kind of look at things like, ugh. So, but I kind of see how they look, how they react, how they play with each other. Now, the thing is, like I said, Russ going to be out for a couple games with the hamstring issue. How is that going to look chemistry-wise, you know, while he's out? Would they be more cohesive? Would he be more to play in their game? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like we're about to see what it looks like without Russ in the fold, and see what this team does.
One thing is, I feel like Russ is a piece that, I mean, for those Lakers fans that have been following, this situation with Russ just has not been going well. So for me, could we see a different team or a better team without Russ? Because this hamstring injury shows us something that we may need to see.
Yep.
That's the thing that I'm looking at. So, he has his ritual as far as things to do prior to games, stuff like that. I guess that's what his reasoning was for not joining them when they were getting ready for a game. Still have the question to where is when Pat Bev was trying to get them all together and have a meeting as far as the defense offense, he kind of was shooting away. So for me, it seemed like Russ is kind of checked out. So maybe this situation here may show us something that needs to be revealed, whether it's good or bad. So at the end of the day, we know one thing that the Lakers need to fix. They need to play better defense. They need to shoot better. So that's what we want to see with these different units, like you said. So for me, I in fact really did like what I seen out of Lonnie Walker. When he came on the court, it seemed like he's one of the slashers, right?
Yeah.
So he looks like he was making a big impact that way. Now, granted, Russ is very similar. It's just that Russ wasn't efficient. So we need to see what we can get out of Lonnie Walker. They need to see what they can get out of Lonnie Walker with that. But I think he's going to play a huge part. Tony Brown needs to get in as well. Another person that played a very, very big piece that I think is going to move forward with the Lakers is Thomas Bryant. That's when AD needs that rest. In fact, we're not expecting AD to play a full season. So I think we're going to have to see a lot out of Thomas Bryant as well. So we're going to see a lot of pieces. I mean, it's a long season starting too. We're going to see a lot of different rotations and a lot of different lineups prior to, so we can see how the season is going to move forward with that. But with their main pieces, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, if they can stay healthy, and I think the Lakers should be fine.
Yeah, we'll go in more detail about this division next week. I'll just finish this last thought about Tuesday's game. And Adam, asked the question, are they in for a turnaround for the Lakers or a huge rebuild? Well, with LeBron in the fold for the next couple of years at least, you gotta push your chips in to kind of get one more championship out of him. So, me personally, as a Laker fan, I would like to see a rebuild. But the thing is, you trade where you draft picks to Anthony Davis, to the Pelicans for Anthony Davis, and then you're on the fence about trading your other first round picks for Buddy Hield and Miles Turner. And I'll be damned. I saw this before we get to our division preview, D-Log. I saw this on Twitter. I'll be damned if the Lakers trade Russell Westbrook and 2 unprotected first-round picks to the Hornets for a broke-up old Gordon Hayward and Miles Plumlee or Mason, which Plumlee brother was. I couldn't believe that dude tweeted that out. And he got deservedly roasted for that. Like, yes, you're in a bad spot with Russ. Yes, I get that. But damn, Rob Pelinka can't be that stupid to trade for a broke up Gordon Hayward and a Plumlee blubber. No. This is like, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. Bogdanovich got traded to Detroit for Saban Lee and Keon Olynyk. And the Lakers supposed to expect to give up 2 first-round picks and all that stuff? No. But like I said, we'll discuss that more next week. We'll dive into more. D-Lock, let's get rolling right previews real quick. I'll let you go first. 5-1. Who you got in the Central Division?
For me.
Oh, I could barely hear you.
Can you hear me now? I may need to switch my headphones. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's a little bit better. Yeah.
Okay. Usually I got 2 headphones. I switch them. Which one works better? Okay, so for me, this division isn't too bad, especially with the big moves that was made. This division actually was kind of tough to put at the top this time around. So for me, I started off. I got the Pistons at the bottom at 5. Going to get Bogdanovich, Cade Cunningham, coming to his second year. Going to get a Jaden Ivey, Sadiq Bey in the second year. Couple other pieces added. I think this team is still fairly young, so they need to do some growing. The biggest question is how long does Bojan Bogdanović stays there? Does he get traded sometime during the season? Because clearly this team is in a somewhat starting from the bottom rebuilding mode. I think this team is going to be pretty solid moving forward. Isaiah Stewart there, Marvin Bagley, they're pretty young. Isaiah Livers. Also having an Alec Burks and Hamidou Diallo, who I really like as a player. This team is very young. They got pieces that they can move forward with if they do it correctly. I want to see more out of Cade Cunningham this year. Killian Hayes is somebody they got, but I just don't think he's the answer at the guard position. I think that this is going to be Cade Cunningham's team with Sadiq Bey. I remember they had Jerami Grant end up trading him, so they're staying very young. Now they have a Jaden Ivey there as well. So they have some shooters. It's just that it's going to take them some time to get acclimated, and get that chemistry. Once they get that, this team will be pretty solid. Now, my thing is, I think that this could be I think Dwayne Casey could possibly be on the hot seat. I hate to say that, being the fact he came there being the coach of the year. but I think that he can possibly be on the hot seat. This team is very young. You want to see them have that success, which they can. It's just that knowing how quick they let these coaches go, there's a possibility, depending on how they play, can tell us a lot. Believe they opened up the season against my Orlando Magic. So, Cade Cunningham against Paolo Banchero, Wendell Carter there as well. Both of them teams somewhat very young, rebuilding, so it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But I definitely have the Pistons starting at the bottom now. Not really trying. I don't think they make a big impact of being in the West playoffs in my eyes. At number 4, I got the Indiana Pacers. Got a lot of big moves going on. You mentioned earlier as far as what they do with their veteran players, like a Miles Turner, like a Buddy Hield. We'll see the situation with Russ. The Lakers are now, I guess, back into talks as far as trying to move a Russell Westbrook, and obviously the Pacers are a team that's in talks with them. Tyrese Halliburton, I think, is a very good player. Chris Doherty, I think he's going to be moving forward. A person that stands out a lot this preseason, Benedict Mather.
Yeah.
He had a preseason that shows that he deserves to be in that rotation with those guys. And does it cut into T.J. McConnell minutes? Possibly. Aaron Naismith is there. I don't think he's going to play a huge role. But I think that he's going to be somebody that's going to accumulate some minutes on that team. Daniel Tice is there, but I'm not sure how long he's going to be there. He's part of that veteran club that possibly may be moved. I do like Jalen Smith. But again, the thing with this team is, who do they keep? And, who are they letting go? So it's so early with this team. We don't know yet. And then it's kind of somewhat them getting in the trade talks and having that final decision with whoever. The Lakers are big players for Miles Turner and Buddy Hield. So for me, that's kind of a keep an eye out for these players, to keep a lookout and see what can possibly happen. That's the reason why I don't really have them. One of the reasons why I don't really have them playing a huge part in the East. I expect the Pacers to be in a lot of fast-paced. They have a fast-paced offense, so I think they're going to be in a lot of fast-paced games. So expect the Pacers to be in a lot of high-scoring games moving forward. So I think they're going to be one of the teams at the bottom of the West, of the East. Now, granted, the thing about the East is we know that the East is not nowhere near as competitive as the West is. So they opened up their season against Washington, another team that's kind of trying to find themselves as well. So, again, like I said, Detroit and Orlando have their battle with them, Pacers and Washington. So expect the Pacers to try to figure things out against Washington. Start the season off, but again, I got both of them starting at the bottom. Third, this is where it got kind of up and down for me. I got the Chicago Bulls. Last year, if I'm not mistaken, I had the Bulls being second in this division. They had a lot of hell of a lot of pieces they picked up. Lonzo Ball, DeMar DeRozan, Nikola Vucevic, Alex Caruso. I like what this team had and has. I still like this team. I think the fact that Lonzo Ball is going to be out for some time is playing a huge part in what is going to happen with this team moving forward. Now, because of that, I hope and expect to see more of Kobe White. He went and signed Goran Dragic, but I want to see Caruso. I want to see more of Kobe White with this team. You know what Zach LaVine can be. You know what DeMar DeRozan is. For some reason, Vooch just gives up. He just lets centers do whatever they want for some reason. And then they go get Andre Drummond, who it does can come off the bench and have a lot of minutes, but also lets centers feast on him as well. So I want to see how this team looks on the defensive side. I want to see how this losing Alonzo impacts them. I mean, DeRozan started out hot last year. He had a hell of a season. But then when the season started to dwell later on, it's like the Chicago Bulls peaked too early. And they look a hell of a lot different later on in the season. So, for me, I got them at 3. I think they're going to be huge pieces in the East. I think, like I said, they're going to be one of the better teams in the East. The East is not that deep, so they're going to still play a part regardless. They have a great matchup Wednesday against Miami Heat. So, both of them, 2 contenders who are trying to start the seasons off right. Jimmy Butler against DeMar DeRozan. Great matchup. Vooch against Bam Adebayo. I mean, what else do you need to say about that? So I think that's going to be one to watch out for. But expect the Bulls to be, a pretty decent team down the stretch. At number 2, I got the Cleveland Cavaliers. The big trade, one of the bigger trades in the off season, with Donovan Mitchell, even though a little later, Donovan Mitchell going to the Cleveland Cavs. I think that this piece, Davidson, I'm not going to lie, I think that this piece has put them at the top 3, top 4 in the East.
Ooh.
And the reason why is because you have Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, who we know is a hell of a rebounder, can do a lot. You went and got Donovan Mitchell. Now, and also, you have Karis LeVert. Now, for those who don't remember Karis LeVert, we can go back and look at what was going on in the bubble before the Brooklyn Nets went and got a Kyrie, before they got a Kevin Durant. Karis LeVert was kind of putting up some pretty decent numbers.
Yeah.
So, for me, right now, I believe they have Karis LeVert starting at the 3 of them, the small forward. I believe, possibly, he can be a 6-man role. Because I think just that 5 is not going to be enough shots around for that whole, that top 5. But I like this roster. Now, if you can get a positive Kevin Love, now you have a second unit that can do damage as well. Maybe a little bit more pressure is off Isaac Okoro with this team, coming off the bench. Sadie Osman can play a better role with this group. But for me, you can throw a Karis LeVert in with that second unit. So I literally like this roster. I think that if it wasn't for Milwaukee, the Cavs would be blowing this division away. I just feel like Jared Allen is a hell of a piece. I think we talked about it before as far as now it's kind of like, why the hell would Brooklyn give away this player or trade away this player? You got Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. You got some guys at the bottom. And then you mess around and you come back with the scores that you need. With Donovan Mitchell, who can give you 25 a game if you need it, hell, even 30. Darius Garland, who can put up 20, 25. And then Karis LeVert, if you catch him in a rhythm, he can give you between 17 and 20. So this is another team that can definitely compete big time. So I think they're going to be pretty solid. Believe they got Toronto first game, so expect a lot from them. I think that'll be a nice matchup, but that looks like it'll be a high-scoring game. So I got them at 2. And at number 1, Milwaukee Bucks. You bring in Chris Middleton healthy with the Giannis, Drew Holiday. This team is fine. They have the pieces, majority of the pieces from last year. Now I want to see Serge Ibaka get more involved this year with this team. They may be asking a little too much, but I think that he could bring his defensive presence onto this team. I think they'll be good to go. Bobby Portis is still there. Probably Pat Connaughton. I think they'll be good. Grayson Allen, and I think we'll see more. I believe they got Joe Ingles as well.
Yep.
So they're pretty deep as well. But listen, they got Giannis, man. That's all you really need to say with that. Giannis is going to be Giannis. I believe they open up their season as well. They open up against Philly, if I'm not mistaken. So, So again, for me, Detroit 5, Indiana Pacers 4, Bulls 3, Cavs 2, and Milwaukee at the top.
I think for me, starting out, I'm going with Indiana at number 5. Now, the reason I put them there, I think you can intertwine Detroit and Indiana, but it's just like, I look at Indiana, I was like, they got guys they can sell off. How long do you want to compete until you get like a top draft pick? Meaning like trying to tank for guys like, Victor. I'll get his last name right. Victor Wembanyama from France. Scoot Henderson. Another name right there that people should be getting familiar with. Thompson, Nick Smith, who's going to be a freshman at Arkansas. I forgot another kid's name. Brandon Miller from Alabama, who's been getting a lot of buzz going to in this season. Khalil Ware from Oregon. But y'all get my point. Anthony Black, Arkansas as well. But y'all get my point. Victor mainly is going to be like the prize possession. A 7'2", 7'3", 4 unicorn, if you want to dub that can do a lot of things. And look at this Pacers roster. They drafted some very talented guys, but some guys that are not going to be your franchise leaders. Be your go-to guys. So I was looking, it's like, one point in time, y'all trade Miles Turner and Buddy Hield to get more assets. And then you just let the young guys play, like Benedict Mathurin, Isaiah Jackson, Tyrese Halliburton, Chris Duarte, Brissett. You go on with this. So some point in time, the tank process got to start for the Pacers. You can't be just middling around, just the middle around. 4, I got Detroit. I'm with you. I worry about Dwayne Casey's job security. And maybe he got like an inkling, hopefully, that he'll probably do a better job. If I look at this squad, Kay Cunningham as your point. Let me pull this up real quick. Kay Cunningham, Marvin Bagley, and Sadiq Bey, who's really come to his own in this league. Who was I missing? Bogdanovich. We'll see how long he lasts there. Alec Burks. I thought Killian Hayes would be, by this time, more progressed, but he really hasn't shown that. And one of those guys kind of high on Hayes coming into the league, but that really hasn't transpired like I had hoped. But I just think this team can do some damage. They can get some wins and stuff like that. And I think they'll be more on the upswing. If Cunningham stays healthy and stuff like that, they'll go a long way in progression for them. But I still got them, they still kind of rebuild mode and whatnot. So don't expect any like a surprise playoff run or anything like that. Number 3, and this is going to get interesting here. I got the Chicago Bulls. I don't know. It's just, can this team stay healthy? We talked about last year. Like every time we look up, somebody's injured on this Bulls roster. from last year. Like, Lonzo's hurt. He's out for a few games. Zach LaVine's out. He's out for a few games. Patrick Williams got hurt first game of the year. He's gone for the rest of the year. Vooch, he missed some games and stuff like that. Kobe White missed some games. Alex Caruso. All those guys right there are all key guys. Now, Lonzo's going to be out for a little bit before the season. What's he going to look like coming in, when he gets back? Getting Drummond for the cheap is pretty decent. We'll see how much he contributes to the squad. But I think if they want to repeat the success of the first half of last year, guys like Kobe White, Patrick Williams got to show that they can be long-term fixtures for this team. If they can, I think they can stay afloat. And Alonzo's back and ready, healthy, and stuff like that, and really take this team above and beyond. I think they'll go a long way for the Bulls. But that's ifs, ands, and buts. And I do kind of see a little regression on DeMar DeRozan's side. I'm not saying he can put up the same numbers, had the same MVP like production, but I think take a little bit of a slide right there for him. But I do got the Bulls at 3. Oh, one more thing on the Bulls. I think for them to succeed, Vucevic, he's got to be ready this year. I don't know what was last year. Is just like, I know he's the third option, but it's just like I feel like he could done more for this team, scoring wise, be more assertive and whatnot. So I hope Vooch is like more assertive this season for Chicago. Number 2, I got the Cavaliers. My reason I don't have them above Milwaukee because I gotta see. I gotta see is just like not yet with the Cavs. Not yet.
I'm with you there.
Because Milwaukee, they still got Giannis. That's the thing. That's the thing that kind of separates them overtaking the Bucks. Is that the Bucks still got Giannis in the fold. And I can't just put the Cavs ahead of the Bucks yet. Especially Giannis in his prime. I can't do that. But, like you alluded to, this team is a very deep team. A lot of avenues this team can go to. You mentioned about the Caris LeVert starting the starting lineup and stuff like that. I was like, where's the defense? And I think if I was coaching, I'll put a Okoro in that starting lineup. Just get some balance there. But up and down this roster, you're looking at things. Kevin Love comes off the bench and how he was receptive of that last year. Guys like Dean Wade, Osman come off the bench. Getting Rubio back in the fold. He was playing great for the Cavs until he got hurt. So getting him back into the fold and stuff like that. I think that this Cavs team can do a lot of things. Just the depth of this squad. Getting Robin Lopez. There's a lot of depth and whatnot. So if somebody goes down, you got somebody in there to kind of pick up pieces for a little bit. But you look at the starting lineup, some of the guys in the starting lineup are under 25 years old. That's another thing to kind of keep an eye on. Garland, Allen, Mobley, and maybe you put Okoro in there. All those guys are under 25 years old. Mitchell, he's 26. And I think one thing for me, for Mitchell, shooting efficiency. It's got to be better than last year's. And I think if that's better, then look out for this team. You're talking a team that should be at least second round bound. At least second round bound. Maybe Eastern Conference, but at least second round bound. And then lastly, before we get off the air, the Milwaukee Bucks. Like I said, Giannis, best player in the league in my eyes. It sucks that Chris Middleton went out the way he did. Because God knows we'll see how we'll see how that Milwaukee and Boston series will turn out. You know, Drew Holiday in the fold. They re-signed Bobby Portis for a big-time deal. I just think, you know, I know they went 0-5 in the preseason, but, you know, I think that really don't matter too much in my eyes. Getting Joe Ingles was pretty good. I did like that move. We'll see how kind of impact he has at 35 years old. I do kind of worry about the Bucks. The only thing I kind of worry is that backup point guard spot. I know they kept Javion Carter around. They still got George Hill. But I think, you know, you kind of need like a talent upgrade there. So it'd be rich to see if they try and make a move for that type of player come trade deadline. So it'd be real interesting to see if they do that. I don't know, but I think there's something to keep an eye on over the course of the season. But also with the Bucks too, besides Giannis, Middleton is 31, Lopez is 34, Ingles 35, Ibaka 33, Drew Holiday is 32, George Hill 36. You know, a lot of guys in those 30s range right there. So we'll see that if that catches up to them this year. I doubt it. I think they got at least one good run with this group, maybe a couple years, but you gotta kind of look to get younger somewhere down the line. But to repeat real quick, I got Indiana 5, Detroit 4, Chicago 3, Cleveland 2, Milwaukee 1. What do you think about that, real quick?
Yeah, I'm very much, very similar there. The only difference between us is that the bottom two. I just don't trust the Pacers, the Pistons to be, to get those wins just yet. I think they will, but right now I just don't think they're right at that stage. And also, like I said, we still got to see what the Pacers are going to do with their pieces. Hell, the longer they stay there, the more wins that this team may get. But again, I think the Cavs, man. I just think the Cavs are top. Let me see. I got Milwaukee over them, Brooklyn. Let me see. Milwaukee, Brooklyn, Boston. To be honest, man, I don't know for sure, but I could put Philly like head and shoulders above them right now. I mean, Philly we know what Embiid and James Harden is, but outside of those two, do we see a consistent Tobias Harris? No, we don't. So, but yeah, like I said, I think that the Cavs are going to be a team that can shock a lot of people.
Yeah, I think the Cavs going to be one more talked about teams, and probably a league pass team that people will flip on the channel. If they play in Sacramento, they'll tune in to watch them. Or they play in Charlotte. Like the Cavs are a team of people like pure basketball peers like ourselves will watch for the upcoming year. And hopefully y'all in the chat as well. You know, y'all watch the NBA season along with us. And have good, healthy discussions. But this has been our show tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in with us. D-Lock, how can people find you on social media?
Y'all can find me at Black-813 on Twitter and Instagram. I don't know where they can find you at, man. And the show's page.
Follow the show on Twitter at Fastbreak at IESR. That's Fastbreak IESR. Also, I have another personal account myself, Spawn4288. I'll get that right. Also, I do another show outside called The Crooks Process. You can follow me on Instagram and Facebook. I post a lot of content on through there. And we'll talk to y'all next week. NBA season will be up and rolling. We'll be talking about the Pacific Division. And probably a champion coming out that division. Possibly. Maybe. We'll see. We'll talk to y'all later. I'll talk to y'all next week. Like I said, do follow us on Twitter. Also, do check out IESportsRadio.com for all you latest show news and feeds on there. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.